Good morning. My name's Jim. Um, Today I'm going to tie a saltwater pattern. It works quite well and it's really easy to tie. 5-6 minute fly, and it really works well on stripers and bluefish when they're in. Excuse me. They seem to tear this up when they're in the water. It's a lot of fun to fish. The action can get really hot and heavy there when they're running really good. For some reason, they just seem to love this fly. This fly is really easy to tie. Only going to take a couple of minutes. Just take a couple of these olive feathers, or you can use chartreuse. And you can also, if you don't have feathers, you can substitute fur for the body. I tend to like to use the feathers because they undulate more when they're wet. When you put them in a current, they seem to have that swimming action. And I think that might attract the fish. I mean, I'm not sure. That's what I'm thinking. So if any of you know any better, I'd be glad to hear from you. And let me get a couple of white feathers here. Throw these up. And too white for the top. So you tie them about half as long as the hook shank. Any longer than that, when they get wet, they tend to wrap around the hook shank, and they have a hard time casting it and making it look real in the water. Whereas this, with the mylar, helps keep them back there where they belong. Tie this off with that whip finish. Ooh, before I forget, let's use a little bit of green crystal flash. When I tie this on, I like to tie it a little bit longer than the feathers. It's just a better chance of it being picked up. And just wrap that around. No big deal. I'm not too worried about how neat the body turns out because it's going to be covered with mylar. So, and that's going to be the body. Wrap that up with a good base. Also, what you can do, you can zap-a-gap the thread there. And I used to when I started, but then I found that the mylar really protects it from the fish. And this stuff here, it's called Corsair. Makes a great body material. And I like to tie it on so that this back end here bumps against the bend of the hook. Because when it does that, it gives it a sort of like more of a curved profile. And it looks like it's swimming. And here, one of the things I like about it is when you pinch it like that, it gives it that nice silhouette. It gives it that tapered look. The way you, gives it a fishy profile. I'm not sure if this really imitates a bait fish or a sand eel or both. I mean, I don't know what the fish think, but regardless, it seems to catch them pretty good. Now I like to put large doll's eye on these, so you can get a pretty decent look at the size of it. It's pretty good size. I like these because they rattle. So, you know, that could be another thing. Sound usually attracts fish, and if they can hear this little rattling when you're retrieving it in the current, because this ideally you're going to fish in the rip, in whether the outgoing or the incoming tide. So it's going to have some action to it from the waves. this way that I'm mounting the eyes is just temporary. Just want them to stick. Later on I'm going to be going back with some 5-minute epoxy. What I usually do is I'll tie 6 or 8 of them, and then I'll epoxy them all at the same time, and I'll put it in my, I have a fly turner there that'll rotate the flies while they're drying. So what I usually do is just tie 5 or 6 of these, like I said, and then I'll glue the eyes in all together. Yeah, and that's basically the fly. I'm just going to put a little bit of this on the threads here to protect it. Again, you can use the epoxy to do that, however way you guys want to do it. Or if you find a better way, feel free to share it with me. I can use the knowledge. Like I said, I've just been fly fishing for over 30 years and still learning a lot. That's a good thing about it, is you never stop learning, and each time you go out it seems to be different. Well, that's basically it, except for the epoxy. Like I said, 5-6 minute fly. Doesn't take much to tie. Just a couple of feathers, some thread, and some tinsel material, and the mylar and the doll's eye, and that's it. You're good to go. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'm going to be posting more, hopefully on a daily basis or every other day. I'm also going to be putting up videos of when I go out fishing. I'm going to record that. We talk about flies I'm going to use, the structure that I'm fishing, the time of year, and see what's hatching. And so hopefully you like this page, and feel free to subscribe. If you have any comments, if you have any ideas, or if you see something that I'm doing wrong that could be done better, feel free to share it with me. I'd appreciate it. And again, hope you enjoyed the video. Have a good day.